Hello, vipi wadau? Yeah, long time. So how have you been? Personally, nimekuwa fiti. Yeah, nashukuru sana. So, welcome to your show. Now, just when we thought that Raila Amolo Odinga was kind of completely finished or done, he has come up with something completely different. Yeah, a different form of protest. Personally, I've never heard about it, and probably you have also never heard about it. Now, we have common forms of protests like sit-ins, the ones that were being led by the group of Wangari Maathai, that is Professor Wangari Maathai at the Freedom Corner. They were mixing it with the hunger strike. Yeah, so they were sitting there for a very long time without eating anything. That is somewhere in around 1992. I don't know if we had any lawyer there. Hey, can we have lawyers going for hunger strike? So they were protesting against the arrest and detention of their sons. And then we have the marches. Now the marches, we have the famous march, the Washington March, being led by the group of Martin Luther King Jr. I know we have had several marches around the world and even in Kenya. Then the third one, we have boycotts. Resist. Yeah, the resist movement is a perfect example. The one being led by General Miguna. But please, if you see Miguna, can you tell him to stop playing with Baba here and there? Now tell him that he can achieve what he wants without hitting Baba all the time. Okay, so we have resist, where you decide to resist a given product. Then we have civil disobedience. Civil disobedience is where you just disobey some things. A perfect example is the US one, that is the Rosa Parks situation. Now, back in around 1950s, back in US, you know, the black Americans were not allowed to sit, that is the way I'm sitting, in a bus when we had some whites standing. So if you're a black American and you are seated there, and there's a white standing, you're supposed to, by then you're supposed to give your seat very fast. So Rosa Parks disobeyed that one. There were whites who were standing, and she decided not to give out her seat. And what happened? She was, of course, arrested. And that one sparked several protests around, and the whole thing, I think, changed. Then we have which one? Self-immolation. Hey. Now this one, I think the most famous one is the one for the Vietnamese monk, Vietnamese Buddhist monk. So what do you do, or what did he do? He just took the flag of the country. So mostly it's always done with the flag. So took the flag of the country, went and sat somewhere and burned himself. He was protesting against the arrest of the Buddhist monks by the US government. Of course, after that act, the photo went round and sparked a number of protests. Then they met the then president, that is John F. K. And they solved the whole thing. Now, I'm thinking, can we have self-immolation back in Kenya? Now, who is ready? I will buy the flag. You take the flag, you go and sit somewhere in town, maybe somewhere close to the Tomboya statue, and then you put the flag and kaboom, flames. Who can do that? I know it's very difficult. It's very difficult. It's very painful. But I think where it has been used, it always sends very strong messages. But leave alone all this. Baba is coming up with something completely different. He's talking about, of course, if the talks fail. The talks may fail. The chances of the talks failing is kind of high. Now, what he's talking about is people not getting out. So imagine people not getting out of their houses and stopping those who want to get out from getting out. It's a little tricky. You don't go to work, just sit indoors and stop anybody who want to get out from getting out. It's something completely new to me and maybe many people. Will it succeed? I'm trying to think about it deeply. I don't know whether you have, but try and think about it deeply. What will be the role of the police or the government in this kind of protest? We all know that when we had the other protests where people are always called to maybe come to town and then we march and do all sorts of things, the police always try and stop people from maybe leaving their houses or their places. Like maybe the common places are always the slums. They always go there and try to stop the guys from leaving. I'm trying to think, will the police now come and get people out of their houses? Or what will they do? Will they try and stop those who are stopping people from getting out of their houses? I think that this can be a very tricky kind of protest. Because the orders will be, don't get out. So what will happen? The police used to stop people from going to town, maybe going to Jacaranda and all that. So the order will be stay indoors and stop anybody from getting out. So what if people will just go out, maybe now get to town, get to Jacaranda, and then start their protests? Because the police will be kind of confused. Do we stop the people from Kibra or from Madare or from other areas from maybe accessing the town, the CBD? They have been told to stay at home, which means those who are out and people who are disobeying the orders and maybe going for their work. It's a little tricky and I'm really waiting to see how it will end up, but it's a kind of a different card. I don't know what you think about the whole kind of protest, but let me know what you think about it in the comments. And then guys, if you have not subscribed, can you subscribe? Yeah, can you subscribe? I want to see how do people eat from YouTube. Maybe you can also share this in future. So just subscribe. More videos are loading. So see you in the next one. Kaboom!